Hello and welcome to the presentation on government and politics as an A-level subject. My name is Gareth Jones and I'm a teacher of the subject in Bromyrddin. Question a lot of people always ask on nights like tonight are why study a particular subject, why study government and politics? And obviously there are many good reasons why you should study government and politics at A-level. One is that it will help you make sense of your community, your society, help you understand the institutions and themes such as power and authority. And also, one of the things I'd emphasize about politics as a subject is that it's a dynamic subject, very, very contemporary. So if you take an interest in the news every day, then you will be absorbed by this subject and it will help you to understand the news. As I prepared this presentation, some of the recent contemporary events, some incredible scenes in Washington DC this week. Obviously, over the summer we had the Black Lives Matter protest, and all the contemporary things that happen in society that fill up our news channels. They all enliven and illustrate many of the themes within the government and politics A-level. The course is structured in 4 units, 2 units in year 12 and 2 units in year 13, which obviously have a different weighting as you can see on the slide. In year 12, we study the government and politics of Wales and the United Kingdom mainly. It's a British focused course. Unit 1 looks at the government in Wales and the United Kingdom, and Unit 2 looks at living and participating in a democracy. What is a democracy? What are the features of a democracy? How do we know that Britain is a democracy? How democratic is Britain? We look at all these issues and look at the quality and nature of democracy in our society. In year 13, we broaden our horizons a little bit. We look at political ideologies, as well as looking across the Atlantic to America and studying the government and politics of the United States of America. If we look at each unit in a little bit more detail, Unit 1 looks at, as we say, the government and politics of Wales and the UK. So we look at the parliaments in Westminster and in Cardiff Bay. We look at the governments in the British government and the Welsh government, and how each parliament interacts and performs its functions, as well as the Supreme Court and the UK Constitution and the role of the judiciary. So obviously politics is a lot to do with power and authority. The parliament is meant to pass laws, represent the people and scrutinise the government. So we look at how the parliaments perform those functions and also look at the various governments in the UK and devolution to see how authority and power is enacted within the United Kingdom. Unit 2 looks a little bit more at what it is to be a democracy. So we look at the politics side of it, we look at voting behaviour, we look at elections, we look at political parties, pressure groups, social movements, and themes relating to living and participating in a democracy. Unit 3 then, quickly, we look at 4 political ideologies. We look at socialism, communism, as well as liberalism, conservatism and nationalism. So just to get the sort of context on some of the ideas that are put forward by political parties, the ideas that underpin certain policies, and we look at these ideologies in turn, taking a global perspective to see where these ideologies are particularly strong in the world, which ones are in retreat, which ideologies are on the up, and we look at all 4 of those. The final unit is concerned with America, and so all the themes we looked at within British politics, the parliaments and the governments and so forth, we look at the American politics, we look at the presidency, the Supreme Court, and obviously the US Congress, which was in the news this week. And again, we look at the structure of power within these institutions, and politics is often about power and where is the dynamic of power between these 3 branches of the federal government. And as I say, a completely contemporary course. So if you're interested and absorbed by what's going on in American politics at the moment, then this subject will be of great interest and enjoyment Students who study government and politics go on to enjoy a range of different careers. I mean, the transfer skills are completely transferable and skills that are valued and treasured by a range of industries. It's always a great pleasure for myself to see students who study A-level politics go on to study at a degree level, and that happens a lot. But there are also a range of other degree courses who obviously value highly the skills developed within the course. Students always have good feedback about the course. They find it helps them understand the world that they live in. It helps prepare them for an understanding and develop an understanding of the society that they're part of. And we've got some thoughts there from students themselves. Obviously, as a department, we've been highly successful over a long time in terms of the academic results and outcomes we have in exams. We try and make the subject as dynamic and contemporary as possible, and also break down the four walls really and take students on to the Welsh Parliament or to the British Parliament if possible. And there's a wealth of online material. So therefore, that's the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, please contact myself and I'll be delighted to answer.